Blood sprayed across the pristine white walls of the alien medical bay, spattering the sterile equipment with crimson droplets as Ryan Turner clutched his arm, a deep gash running from elbow to wrist. Three aliens in what appeared to be medical uniforms rushed toward him, their four-fingered hands frantically gathering supplies from nearby cabinets. Immediate pressure required. "The human is losing vital fluids at an alarming rate," shouted the tallest alien, its skin a pale blue with dark markings that pulsed with anxiety. The shortest alien, with deep purple skin and large golden eyes, pressed a translucent gel pack against Ryan's wound. Blood pressure dropping. "Activate emergency protocols." Ryan winced, but managed a strained laugh. "Guys, seriously calm down. I've donated more than this at blood drives back home." The aliens froze, their compound eyes blinking in confused synchronization. The third alien, green-skinned with delicate antenna-like structures on its head, approached cautiously. "Human Ryan, you willingly release this quantity of vital fluid? Regularly? For what purpose?" Ryan tried to sit up straighter on the examination table, grimacing as pain shot through his arm. "Blood donation. You know, to help people who need transfusions. This is nothing compared to a standard donation." The medical team exchanged bewildered glances as they continued to work, their movements becoming less frantic, but more curious. Ryan had been stationed on Outpost Epsilon 9 for just 3 weeks as part of Earth's first long-term exchange program with the Zenithian Alliance. As an engineer specializing in cross-species environmental systems, he'd been eager for this assignment. What he hadn't anticipated was cutting his arm on a jagged piece of metal while installing a new oxygen filtration unit. "Your vital signs are stabilizing," the purple alien said, checking a floating holographic display. "I am Medical Officer Vexel. These are my colleagues, Senior Physician Thuras and Emergency Specialist Mesla." The blue alien Thuras adjusted something on the gel pack. "Human physiology continues to confound our understanding. You claim this volume of blood loss is routine?" "Well, not routine exactly," Ryan clarified, feeling lightheaded but determined to explain. "But when we donate blood, they take about 470 milliliters. That's a pint. Looks like I've lost less than that." Mesla, the green alien, was scanning Ryan's arm with a handheld device that emitted a soft humming sound. "Fascinating. Your species voluntarily extracts vital fluids to assist others of your kind." "Yeah, people need blood transfusions for surgeries, accidents, certain medical conditions." Ryan watched as the gel pack on his arm slowly changed from clear to a dull red as it absorbed the blood while somehow sealing the wound. "It's pretty common. Most humans can donate every 8 weeks or so." Thuras made a series of clicking sounds that Ryan's translator didn't catch. "Your species continues to surprise us, human Ryan. While we're familiar with your remarkable tolerance for physical discomfort, this voluntary fluid-sharing practice is unexpected." Ryan felt the gel pack warming against his skin. The bleeding had stopped, and the pain was subsiding to a dull throb. "So, what is this stuff anyway?" "It's working amazingly well. Biosynthetic healing matrix," Mesla explained, adjusting something on the device scanning Ryan's arm. "It creates a molecular bond with your tissues while accelerating cellular regeneration and preventing infection." "On our world," Vexel added, "blood loss of this magnitude would be considered a significant medical emergency for most species in the Alliance." Ryan nodded, starting to understand their panic. "Different physiologies, I guess. Humans have a lot of blood to spare. About 5 liters total in an adult my size. And you simply replace it?" Thuras asked, fascination evident in his voice. "Our bodies make more," Ryan explained. "Takes a little while to get back to normal levels, but yeah, we replace it naturally." The aliens were now moving with more measured precision, their initial alarm replaced by scientific curiosity. Ryan could almost see the mental notes they were taking. "We should complete a full bioscan," Mesla suggested to the others. With the human's permission, of course. This regenerative capacity might have applications for other species with compatible systems. Ryan shrugged his good shoulder. Sure, knock yourselves out. I'm not going anywhere until my arm's fixed anyway. Thuras tilted his head. Knock ourselves. The translator must be malfunctioning. Just an expression, Ryan explained with a smile. It means go ahead, I don't mind. As Vexel prepared a more comprehensive scanning device, Ryan noticed the alien's hands were trembling slightly. You okay? He asked. Vexel's golden eyes blinked rapidly. I apologize for our excessive reaction. This is my first assignment involving a human patient. Your species is not common in this sector. No need to apologize, Ryan assured him. Better to overreact than underreact in medicine, right? Indeed, Thuras agreed, helping Ryan lie back on the examination table. However, our medical training regarding humans has clearly been insufficient. We were taught your species is remarkably resilient, but the specifics appear to have been understated. The scanner hummed to life above Ryan, bathing him in a soft blue light that tingled against his skin. He closed his eyes as the machine worked, feeling suddenly tired from the adrenaline crash. Incoming emergency transmission, announced a computerized voice from somewhere in the ceiling. Shuttle crash at Western Perimeter. Multiple casualties reported. Medical team requested immediately. The three aliens straightened, instantly alert. We must respond, Thuras said, looking at Ryan's arm with concern. But your treatment, I'm stable, right? Ryan asked. Go help them. This can wait. Mesla hesitated. The healing matrix will continue working, but you should not be left unattended. Ryan sat up carefully. Then I'll come with you. Maybe I can help. The aliens exchanged glances. Your injury, Vexel began, is minor compared to crash victims, Ryan finished. I've got first aid training. Not as good as you three, obviously, but an extra pair of hands might be useful. After a moment's consideration, Thuras nodded. Very well. But you will follow our instructions precisely, human Ryan. Absolutely, Ryan agreed, sliding off the examination table. And just Ryan is fine. The medical team moved with practiced efficiency, gathering equipment into portable cases. Ryan noticed they included several more of the gel packs that were currently sealing his wound. The crash site is approximately 1.2 kilometers from this facility, Mesla explained, handing Ryan a small medical kit. This contains basic supplies you might find familiar. The journey to the crash site was quick, aboard what Ryan could only describe as a hovering ambulance. The vehicle glided silently over the rocky terrain of the outpost, its internal systems maintaining perfect stability despite the uneven ground below. When they arrived, the scene was chaotic. A small shuttle had crashed into a rock formation, its hull cracked open like an egg. Several aliens of various species were moving around the site, some helping the injured, others attempting to secure loose equipment that sparked dangerously. 6 casualties identified, announced an alien in a security uniform as they approached. 2 critical, 4 with moderate injuries. No fatalities. Thuras immediately began issuing orders, dividing responsibilities among the team. To Ryan's surprise, he was included in the assignments. Ryan, assist Vexel with triage of the moderate injuries. Your wound limits your mobility, but your observational skills may be valuable. Ryan nodded, following Vexel toward a group of injured aliens sitting or lying near the shuttle's exit hatch. He noticed the medical officer was moving with more confidence now, the earlier nervousness replaced by professional focus. The first patient was a reptilian alien with leathery gray skin and a badly dislocated limb that Ryan guessed was an arm, though it had an extra joint compared to human anatomy. I need to reset this before applying treatment, Vexel explained. Can you stabilize the patient while I perform the procedure? Ryan knelt beside the injured alien, whose breathing was coming in short, ragged gasps. What do you need me to do? Hold here and here, Vexel demonstrated. Apply firm pressure to prevent movement. Ryan positioned his hands as instructed, careful to maintain his grip despite the alien's skin feeling unusually cool and dry against his fingers. On my count, Vexel said. 3, 2, 1. There was a sickening pop as the joint realigned. The patient let out a hissing sound that Ryan's translator didn't convert, but the meaning was clear enough. Good, Vexel said, quickly applying one of the gel packs to the area. Next patient. They worked through the injured aliens methodically. Ryan found that despite the obvious anatomical differences, many of the first aid principles remained the same. Stop bleeding, stabilize injuries, monitor vital signs. His own arm throbbed dully, but the healing matrix continued to work, the pain fading gradually as they treated the crash victims. One of the patients, a small avian-like alien with feathered ridges along its skull, watched Ryan with bright, curious eyes as he applied a pressure bandage to its injured leg. "You are human," it stated, its translator rendering the words in a high, musical tone. "That's right," Ryan confirmed, securing the bandage carefully. "Humans are rare here. I have never met one before." The alien tilted its head. "You are injured as well, yet you assist others." Ryan glanced at his arm, where the gel pack had now almost completely absorbed into the wound, leaving a thin, silvery line where the gash had been. It wasn't serious. And, anyway, that's what people do, help each other when they can. The avian alien made a trilling sound. An admirable philosophy. My people have a saying, "Those who fly together shelter together during storms." Perhaps our species are not so different. Ryan smiled. "I think you're right about that." As the immediate medical needs were addressed, Ryan helped Vexel organize the patients for transport back to the medical facility. Thuras and Mesla were still working on one of the critically injured aliens, their movements precise and urgent. "How are they doing?" Ryan asked Vexel quietly, nodding toward the critical patients. Vexel's golden eyes dimmed slightly. "One is stabilized. The other." The alien hesitated. "The internal injuries are severe. Mesla is attempting a procedure that may help, but the prognosis is uncertain." Ryan watched as the green-skinned medic worked, four-fingered hands moving with incredible dexterity over the injured alien. "What kind of procedure?"
À cellulaire suspension, Vexil explained.
"It places the patient in a state between life and death while repairs are made at the molecular level." "It is. Not always successful." Ryan nodded solemnly. "We have similar concepts in human medicine. Sometimes the most we can do is give the body a chance to heal itself." Vexel seemed to consider this. "You speak with unexpected wisdom, human Ryan." "Just Ryan," he reminded the alien. "And it's not wisdom, just experience. I worked as an emergency volunteer during my university years." Before Vexel could respond, Mesla called out from the critical patient side. "I need assistance. The suspension is failing." Thuras, who had just finished with the other critical patient, rushed to help. Vexel hesitated, looking at Ryan and the patients they were preparing for transport. "Go," Ryan said firmly. "I can handle this." Vexel nodded gratefully and hurried to join the others. Ryan continued organizing the transport, ensuring each patient was secure and as comfortable as possible given the circumstances. He couldn't help watching the three alien medics as they worked frantically to save their patient. Despite the obvious physiological differences, the scene was eerily familiar: the urgent communication, the careful coordination, the desperate fight against time. Medicine, it seemed, was universal in its most basic goal: preserving life. After several tense minutes, the alien medical team stepped back from their patient. Ryan couldn't tell from their body language whether the outcome was positive or negative, but when Thuras placed a gentle hand on Mesla's shoulder, he feared the worst. To his surprise, Mesla turned and made a gesture that caused a soft, pulsing light to emanate from a device above the patient. The injured alien's chest began to rise and fall in a steady rhythm. They stabilized them, Ryan murmured to himself, relieved. The transport vehicles arrived shortly after, and the patients were carefully loaded for the journey back to the medical facility. Ryan found himself in the same vehicle as Vexel and two of the moderately injured aliens. The critical patients? Ryan asked as they set off. Both stable for now, Vexel confirmed. Though they will require extensive treatment. Your assistance was unexpected but valuable, human Ryan. Ryan smiled tiredly. Just doing what anyone would do. Not anyone, Vexel corrected. Many would have remained behind with an injury such as yours. Ryan glanced down at his arm. The silvery line was now barely visible, though the skin around it remained tender. Speaking of which, this stuff is amazing. We could really use something like this back on Earth. Vexel's eyes brightened. Perhaps that could be arranged. The Alliance has been seeking meaningful exchanges with your planet. Medical technology would be a logical area for cooperation. The idea sparked something in Ryan's mind. The blood donation thing I mentioned earlier, does your species do anything similar? Not in the same manner, Vexel explained. Our bodily fluids are more specialized and cannot be transferred between individuals as easily as human blood. However, we do have tissue and organ donation programs for compatible species. Ryan nodded thoughtfully. You know, human blood types are actually pretty complicated too. We have to match them carefully for transfusions to work. But we've developed systems to make it safe and effective. Fascinating, Vexel said. Perhaps you could provide more information on these systems? It might have applications for other Alliance species with similar physiological traits. I'd be happy to, Ryan agreed. And I'd love to learn more about your healing technologies in return. The transport arrived at the medical facility, where a larger team of medical personnel was waiting to receive the patients. Ryan helped transfer the injured aliens to treatment areas before finally allowing himself to be led back to an examination room for follow-up on his own injury. Thuras joined him there a short while later, scanning Ryan's arm with a handheld device. The healing matrix has integrated successfully. You will have minimal scarring and full functionality should return within 48 hours. That's incredible, Ryan said, flexing his fingers experimentally. There was still some stiffness, but the pain was almost gone. On Earth, a cut like this would take weeks to heal completely. Thuras made a note on a floating display. Your assistance today was educational for our team. It seems our understanding of human capabilities and behavior requires updating. Ryan smiled. Well, I'm happy to help with that too. Though I should mention that I'm just one human, we're a pretty diverse bunch. Diversity is the foundation of resilient systems, Thuras said, in what sounded like a well-practiced phrase. We would welcome more information about your species' medical practices, particularly this blood donation concept. I can put together some information, Ryan offered. Though I'm an engineer, not a doctor, so it would be pretty basic. Any knowledge would be valuable, Thuras assured him. Rest now. Your body requires recovery time despite your remarkable healing progress. As the alien physician turned to leave, Ryan called after him. Hey, Thuras? How's that critical patient doing? The one Mesla was working on. Thuras paused. Stable, but the prognosis remains uncertain. The cellular suspension buys time, but the internal injuries were severe. Ryan nodded solemnly. If there's anything I can do to help. Actually, Thuras said, turning back fully, there might be. You mentioned human blood donation. Would you be willing to explain the process in detail to our research team? It has potential applications we had not previously considered. Of course, Ryan agreed immediately. Whenever you want. Tomorrow, perhaps? After you have rested. I'll be there. After Thuras left, Ryan lay back on the examination bed, exhaustion finally catching up with him. The events of the day played through his mind, from the panic over his relatively minor injury to the coordinated response at the crash site. Despite their differences, he'd found common ground with the alien medical team, a shared purpose that transcended species. He drifted off to sleep, his dreams filled with strange medical devices and alien hands working alongside human ones. The next morning, Ryan found himself in a conference room with the 3 alien medics from the previous day, plus 2 others he hadn't met before, a data specialist named Krill and a research coordinator called Zeph. The table between them displayed holographic representations of human and various alien circulatory systems, rotating slowly in the air. So basically, Ryan continued his explanation, we've organized blood into types A, B, AB, and O, plus the Rh factor that makes them positive or negative. Matching these correctly is crucial for successful transfusions. And your medical facilities maintain stockpiles of these different blood types? Zeph asked, her elongated fingers making notes on a transparent tablet. Blood banks, yes, Ryan confirmed. People donate regularly, and the blood is stored for emergencies, surgeries, that sort of thing. Mesla, who had been quietly studying the holographic display, looked up. This process of extraction, is it painful for the donor? Ryan shrugged. There's a pinch when the needle goes in, but otherwise it's just a bit boring. You sit there for maybe 10-15 minutes while the blood is collected. The aliens exchanged glances that Ryan couldn't interpret. And recovery time? Thuras inquired. You might feel a little tired afterward. They recommend drinking extra fluids and avoiding strenuous activity for the rest of the day. But most people just go about their normal routine. Krill, a slender alien with metallic-looking skin, leaned forward. Our research suggests that many Alliance species could benefit from similar fluid exchange protocols, but the psychological barrier has been significant. The concept of voluntarily surrendering vital fluids is culturally challenging for many. Ryan considered this. I guess it does sound strange when you put it that way. But humans view it as a way to help others, almost like a civic duty. Plus, we know our bodies will replace what we've donated. This perspective is valuable, Vexel said. Perhaps with proper education and cultural context, similar programs could be established for compatible Alliance species. The challenge, Zeph added, would be adapting the concept across widely differing physiologies and cultural norms. Ryan had an idea. On Earth, we sometimes use public figures or community leaders as examples. If people see someone they respect donating blood, they're more likely to try it themselves. Thuras made a sound that Ryan's translator didn't catch. A demonstration approach. Logical. Which brings us to our proposal, Mesla said, looking directly at Ryan. Would you be willing to participate in a recorded demonstration of this process? Your experience yesterday has already generated significant interest among the medical community here. Ryan blinked in surprise. You want me to donate blood? Here. If you are willing, Thuras clarified. We have studied the procedure extensively and can replicate it safely. Your donation would serve both educational purposes and potentially help our research into cross-species medical applications. Ryan thought about it for a moment. It wasn't what he'd expected when he'd agreed to explain blood donation, but it made sense. Sure, I'm willing. As long as you're confident you can do it safely. The relief and excitement among the alien medical team was palpable. We have prepared a protocol based on Earth medical standards, Vexel assured him. And your health parameters are well within normal range for the procedure. Then let's do it, Ryan agreed. The demonstration was scheduled for later that day, giving the medical team time to make final preparations and Ryan time to hydrate properly. Word had apparently spread through the outpost, and by the time Ryan arrived at the designated room, there was a small audience of medical personnel and researchers waiting to observe. The setup looked remarkably similar to an Earth blood donation center, though with obvious alien technological enhancements. Ryan sat in a reclined chair while Vexel explained each step of the procedure both to him and to the observers. The extraction device has been calibrated for human physiology, the alien medic explained, showing Ryan what looked like a sleeker version of the needles used on Earth. You'll feel a slight sensation when it establishes connection with your circulatory system. Ryan nodded, extending his arm, the one that hadn't been injured the day before. Just like back home, except with better tech. There was a murmur among the observers that the translator couldn't quite capture. Thuras applied a cleaning solution to Ryan's inner elbow, the liquid cool against his skin. The standard human donation quantity is 470 milliliters, correct? That's right, Ryan confirmed. About a pint. We will extract slightly less for safety considerations, Thuras explained. 425 milliliters. Ryan nodded, watching with interest as Mesla prepared the collection equipment. The container wasn't the plastic bag he was used to seeing, but rather a gently pulsing transparent sphere that seemed to adjust its internal environment as it was programmed. Ready? Vexel asked, positioning the extraction device. Ready, Ryan confirmed. The sensation was indeed similar to an Earth blood donation, a brief pinch, then the strange awareness of blood flowing out through the needle. The alien technology seemed to make the process even smoother, with none of the occasional discomfort Ryan associated with donations back home. As the sphere began to fill with his blood, Ryan noticed the audience leaning forward with intense interest. He realized that for many of them, this was probably their first time seeing human blood in significant quantities. The color is more vivid than I expected, commented one observer. Oxygen binding efficiency appears remarkable, noted another, studying a readout on a nearby screen. Ryan couldn't help but smile at their scientific curiosity. If you think this is interesting, you should see what happens when human blood is exposed to air. It gets darker as the hemoglobin changes state. This prompted a flurry of new questions and observations from the audience. Ryan answered as best he could, explaining the basics of human circulatory system while Vexel monitored his vital signs and the progress of the collection. Collection complete, Mesla announced after about 10 minutes. 425 milliliters successfully extracted. Vexel removed the extraction device with practiced efficiency, applying a small patch to the puncture site that sealed it instantly, much more advanced than the cotton ball and bandage Ryan was accustomed to. How do you feel? Thuras asked, scanning Ryan with a handheld device. Fine, Ryan assured him. Exactly like after donating back home. Maybe even better, thanks to your fancy band-aid. We recommend you remain seated for approximately 10 minutes, Vexel instructed. Then hydrate and consume nutrients. We have prepared appropriate sustenance. Ryan nodded, watching with interest as Mesla carefully transferred the sphere of blood to a secure container. The audience was now engaged in animated discussion, clearly excited by the demonstration. What will happen to the blood now? Ryan asked. Multiple applications, Thuras explained. A portion will be preserved for educational purposes. Another will be analyzed for detailed composition. The remainder will contribute to our research on universal medical solutions. Ryan felt a surge of pride. His simple donation might help advance medical science across multiple species. I'm glad I could help. After the recommended rest period, Ryan was escorted to a small dining area where a meal had been prepared for him, carefully formulated to help his body recover from the blood donation. To his surprise, he found the 3 alien medics waiting for him. We wish to express our gratitude, Thuras said as Ryan took a seat. Today's demonstration will significantly advance our understanding of human physiology and interspecies medical protocols. Ryan smiled, taking a sip of the nutrient drink they'd provided. It tasted better than he expected, like a fruit smoothie with a hint of something unfamiliar but pleasant. I'm happy to help. That's what the exchange program is all about, right? Sharing knowledge and building cooperation. Indeed, Mesla agreed. But your willingness to assist during yesterday's emergency and to participate in today's demonstration exceeds standard exchange protocols. Ryan shrugged. It seemed like the right thing to do. And honestly, I've learned as much from you as you have from me. That healing matrix for my cut? That's amazing technology. Vexel's golden eyes brightened. Which brings us to our proposal. The Alliance Medical Council has expressed interest in establishing a more formal exchange program specifically focused on medical technologies and practices. Your experience here could serve as a successful pilot case. Ryan set down his drink, intrigued. What kind of exchange are we talking about? Bidirectional knowledge and technology transfer, Thuras explained. Human blood donation and transfusion systems shared with Alliance species. Our regenerative technologies, shared with Earth. That sounds incredible, Ryan said. But I'm just an engineer. I don't have the authority to establish something like that. We understand, Mesla assured him. But your report and recommendation would carry significant weight, given your first-hand experience. Ryan nodded thoughtfully. I'll definitely include all of this in my report. And I'm happy to continue helping while I'm stationed here. There is one more thing, Vexel said, seeming slightly hesitant. The patient from yesterday's crashed, the one with severe internal injuries. Yes, Ryan prompted when the alien paused. How are they doing? Stable, but struggling, Thuras answered. The cellular suspension has prevented further deterioration, but recovery remains uncertain. Ryan frowned. I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything else that can be done? The three aliens exchanged glances. Potentially, Mesla said carefully. Our analysis of your blood has revealed properties that might prove beneficial in this specific case. The oxygen carrying capacity and certain immune factors are compatible with the patient's physiology in ways we had not anticipated. Ryan leaned forward. Are you saying my blood could help them? A derivative component, yes, Vexel confirmed. We would process the donation you already provided to isolate specific elements. No additional donation would be required at this time. Then absolutely use it, Ryan said without hesitation. If there's any chance it could help, I'm all for it. The relief among the alien medics was visible. We hoped you would agree, Thuras said. But we did not wish to presume. Ryan shook his head. No presumption needed. Like I said, helping each other is what people do. All people, human or otherwise. The 3 days following Ryan's blood donation were busy with his regular engineering duties, but he made time to check in with the medical team each day. The processing of his blood for the injured crash victim was proceeding well, and preliminary tests showed promising results. On the 4th day, as Ryan was calibrating a new atmospheric regulator, he received an urgent message from Vexel requesting his presence in the medical facility. He hurried there, concerned that something had gone wrong with the treatment. Instead, he found a very different scene. The critical patient, a tall, slender alien with iridescent scales covering most of its body, was sitting up in a recovery pod, alert and engaged in conversation with the medical team. They turned as Ryan entered. Human Ryan. Thuras greeted him formally. May I present Scientist Keth, chief xenobiologist of the research vessel that crashed. The scaled alien inclined its head in what Ryan recognized as a gesture of respect. I am told I owe my recovery to your generous contribution, it said, its translator rendering the words in a deep, resonant voice. Ryan felt suddenly self-conscious. The doctors did all the real work. I just donated some blood. A substance your body freely regenerates, yet which contained elements that stabilized my cellular structure when nothing else could, Keth observed. The concept is humbling. The derivative we created from your donation successfully bridged the gap in Keth's treatment, Mesla explained to Ryan. It provided the necessary support for the cellular suspension to complete its work. Ryan smiled, genuinely pleased. That's fantastic news. I'm glad it helped. More than helped, Vexel added. The success has significant implications for our medical research. It suggests possibilities for cross-species treatments we had not previously considered viable. Keth's scales shifted color slightly, which Ryan guessed was an emotional response. In my culture, there is a concept called life debt, an unbreakable bond between the saved and the savior. I owe you such a debt, human Ryan. Ryan shook his head. No debt necessary. On Earth, blood donation is anonymous most of the time. People give without knowing who it might help, and those who receive it never know who donated. This concept seemed to fascinate the aliens. Altruism without recognition, Thura's mused. Interesting cultural development. It's not perfect, Ryan admitted. We still have shortages sometimes, and not everyone who can donate does. But the principle is they're helping others because it's the right thing to do, not for recognition or reward. Keth's scales rippled again. Nevertheless, I will remember, and perhaps one day return the favor in kind. The conversation shifted to Keth's research and recovery plan, and Ryan listened with interest. The xenobiologist had been studying the unique ecosystem of the planet they were orbiting when their shuttle experienced a catastrophic system failure, leading to the crash. As Ryan prepared to leave and return to his duties, Thuras accompanied him to the door. The Alliance Medical Council has reviewed our preliminary report, the alien physician said quietly. They are extremely interested in pursuing the exchange program we discussed. Your demonstration and its successful application have provided compelling evidence of its value. Ryan nodded. I'll submit my recommendation as soon as I get back to my quarters. For what it's worth, I think it's a great idea. Thuras made a gesture Ryan had come to recognize as agreement. We have also transmitted data regarding our healing matrix to your Earth medical authorities as a gesture of good faith. The formal exchange would include training and technology for its implementation. That's amazing, Ryan said sincerely. It could help so many people. As your blood donation helped Keth, Thuras noted. Perhaps there is wisdom in your Earth approach after all, giving without expectation of return, yet ultimately benefiting the wider community. Ryan smiled. Maybe that's something all species can agree on, no matter how different our bodies or cultures might be. Indeed, Thuras agreed. Medicine at its core is about preservation and improvement of life. The methods may vary, but the goal remains constant. In the weeks that followed, Ryan split his time between his engineering duties and assisting the medical team with their research. His blood was analyzed in extraordinary detail, providing insights that helped the alien scientists develop new treatment protocols for multiple species. In return, he learned about regenerative technologies that could revolutionize Earth medicine if successfully implemented. A month after the initial incident, Ryan stood in the Outpost's communication center, finalizing a direct transmission to Earth's Interstellar Medical Exchange office. On the screen before him was a comprehensive proposal for a bilateral medical technology and knowledge exchange program, jointly authored by the alien medical team and himself. Transmission ready, announced the communication officer. Authentication confirmed. Ryan took a deep breath and pressed the send control. The proposal, including detailed information about blood donation protocols, regenerative technologies, and cross-species treatment possibilities, streamed across the vast distance to Earth. Beside him, Vexel watched the transmission confirmation with evident satisfaction. A significant moment, the alien medic observed. The beginning of something important. I think so too, Ryan agreed. All because of a cut and a misunderstanding about blood loss. Sometimes the most meaningful discoveries arise from unexpected circumstances, Vexel said philosophically. Your species' casual attitude toward blood donation led to a breakthrough that saved Keth's life and may save countless others. Ryan smiled, thinking about how his routine engineering assignment had evolved into something far more significant. And your panic over my injury introduced me to medical technology that could help millions back home. I'd call that a fair exchange. Indeed, Vexel agreed. Though I maintain our initial response was medically appropriate given our understanding at the time. Ryan laughed. Still, I've donated more than that plenty of times without anyone rushing around in a panic. A fact we now appreciate, Bexel acknowledged, and one that has opened new possibilities for alliance medicine. As they left the communication center, Ryan noticed a small group of aliens from various species watching him with interest. Word of the human blood donor had spread throughout the outpost, turning Ryan into something of a minor celebrity, a status he found both amusing and slightly embarrassing. "I think you have admirers," Bexel noted, following Ryan's gaze. Ryan shook his head. "They're just curious. I'm still a novelty around here." "More than that," Bexel corrected. "You represent a concept many find compelling, giving of oneself to help others, even those of different species. It resonates across cultural boundaries." Ryan considered this. "I hadn't thought of it that way. On Earth, blood donation is just something many people do. It's normal. Perhaps one day it will be normal here too," Bexel suggested. "Your example has inspired several alliance species to investigate similar protocols adapted to their physiologies." The idea that his simple act could inspire such widespread change was humbling. Ryan had come to the outpost expecting to work on environmental systems, not help revolutionize interspecies medicine. As they walked through the corridor, Ryan absently rubbed his arm where he'd been cut that first day, now fully healed without even a scar thanks to the alien technology. "You know," he said thoughtfully, "back on Earth we have a saying, sometimes the smallest actions have the biggest impacts." Vexel's golden eyes brightened. A wise observation, and one that proves true across the stars. Ryan nodded, thinking about how a simple cut, a panicked response, and his casual comment about blood donation had set in motion changes that might benefit countless lives across multiple worlds. "I guess we're not so different after all," he said. "Different bodies, different worlds, but the same desire to help each other when we can. The foundation of all advanced civilizations," Bexel agreed. "And perhaps the most important exchange of all." As they parted ways, Ryan to his engineering duties and Bexel to the medical facility, Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose in his assignment. The exchange program was about more than just technology and knowledge. It was about finding common ground, recognizing shared values across the stars, and building something greater than any single species could achieve alone. And it had all started with a cut, some alien panic, and his simple observation: "I've donated more than this."